On Friday morning, Jasper, Taylor, and I set out on a road trip. We wanted to get to Brimfall by road. It was the first time we were all in town together. We all live busy lives. We set out, enjoying the sunlight, music, and good food. While cruising down the road, we saw a hitchhiker trying to wave us down. I wanted to pull over, but Taylor and Jasper said I shouldn't stop, so we continued the journey. After about 100 miles, we saw another hitchhiker. I was shell-shocked because this looked like the same person from earlier. I told Jasper and Taylor, but they said maybe I was just stressed. Around 5:50 p.m., the sun was starting to set, so we decided to drive into a town to rest and continue the next day. The town was surrounded by mountains on all sides. At the entrance was a rickety, dirty signboard that read, "Welcome to Lone Line." As we drove through the town searching for a motel, the townspeople looked uneasy as we passed. We finally found a motel and walked to the reception. The receptionist asked in a shaky voice, "Did you see him?" Jasper replied. "Who?" "The man," she said. Taylor asked, "What man?" "The hitchhiker," she answered. "You should have seen him twice. Did you stop to pick him?" "No," we all said at once. The receptionist immediately turned pale. I asked, "How did you know there was a hitchhiker?" Without answering, she ran to a speaker and announced to the townspeople to get prepared. Suddenly, people all over the town started climbing onto rooftops. She told us to get onto the roof of the motel. We laughed. We told her we just wanted a room to rest for the night and continue our journey in the morning. She shook her head. "You can't stay in the rooms. You have to get to the roof." That's when we heard it, a strange, eerie cry coming from the mountains. It was loud and unnatural. We immediately ran up to the roof. The receptionist told us to stay as quiet as possible. It was dark now. We stayed on the roof until about 10 p.m. We could see families on other rooftops too. Taylor said this was stupid. She insisted she was going downstairs to get a decent night's sleep. The receptionist begged her not to. Taylor refused, went down, entered one of the rooms, and locked the door. By 12 a.m., nothing had happened. By 1:30 a.m., I was also getting tired. I was considering going down when I heard it, and then I saw them. People glowing white, crying loudly coming down from the mountains. They moved in a strange, unnatural way. There were about 100 of them. I panicked and tried calling Taylor, but she wasn't picking up. She was fast asleep. The receptionist whispered, "This is how it has been for a long time. A man once tried to leave town. He waved down vehicles, but no one stopped. One drunk driver eventually ran him over. Since then, he comes out and waves at cars. If they don't stop, he wreaks havoc on the town." I couldn't let Taylor be torn apart. I climbed down from the roof to get her. The glowing people were getting closer. I knocked on the door, called her name, but she didn't answer. The door was locked. I kicked it open. The sound was loud, and the glowing people turned toward the motel. I shook Taylor awake. Half asleep, she told me to leave her alone. Then she heard the cries. Her eyes widened. She looked outside and tried to scream. I covered her mouth and told her we had to get to the roof. Suddenly, the front door opened. It was the hitchhiker. Our eyes met. His eyes were dark, lost, and soulless. His fingernails and toenails were long and twisted. He dropped to all fours and began running toward us. Taylor collapsed, trembling. I grabbed her and ran upstairs toward the roof. She was crying and asking, "What is that?" I told her, "I don't know." We reached the roof and locked the door behind us, breathing hard. But he knew where we were. He knocked on the roof door. Everyone froze. The glowing people surrounded the motel, crying loudly. He tried to open the door but couldn't. After several attempts, he went downstairs and stared up at us. Our eyes met again. His face was filled with anger and hatred. Then the glowing people dropped to all fours and ran back toward the mountains. They disappeared for a while. We felt safe. Then suddenly, the cries became even louder. They were no longer glowing. They looked transparent, but still visible. I wondered if they could move through objects. Then I saw it. They passed through trees. We screamed, knowing we were done for. They rushed back into the town, entered the motel, and walked straight through the doors. They surrounded us. The hitchhiker stepped forward and said, "The other side awaits you." They raised their hands, ready to feast. We closed our eyes and prayed. Then silence. We opened our eyes. They were gone. The sun had risen. The sunlight had saved us. Shaking, we went downstairs, ate a little, and rushed into our car. The receptionist came to say goodbye and told us to visit again. We stared at her with anger. We drove in silence. From 8 a.m. to 1 p.m., we said nothing to each other. Then the car stopped, empty tank. We realized we had forgotten to refuel in the previous town. I took a keg and trekked to the next town alone. There were no cars on the road. I got gas and returned. By 6 p.m., we reached another town that looked normal. We went into a motel. The receptionist was warm and friendly. I asked out of curiosity, "What's the name of this town? We didn't see a sign." She smiled and said slowly, "Lone Line."